Hello, and welcome back to King Note Gaming. It is I, King Note, and today is the Gavotte Mega Movie, which, you see the time, it is a long one. I had a lot of big builds on this island, and I got it down as much as I physically could. I will be including timestamps for this one, and I'm going to make an effort to do timestamps for my longer videos, so that'll be coming up soon. Anyway, I've been talking over the designs here, and I'm making a bunch of custom designs for this island. I tend to make a bunch of them all up front, because this is essentially the entrance build. The entrance is kind of shared with another build on this island, but we'll get to that later. And I'm making some bricks here that I end up turning grayscale later, and then I make some other designs, because this is a city core island. It's also autumnal, and it's vaguely based on European stuff, and it's mainly purple. So, a lot of designs all up front, but then we'll get to the little park build in a minute here. I also want to mention that I'm getting more into streaming again, not every week like I used to, but probably like 2 or 3 times a month, max. And I got Tomodachi Life, so we'll probably be streaming that in June. Anyway, here's what the paths are looking like together, and I end up changing the brick, like I said, and then I make the cobblestone purple here, which I just basically changed the colors I already had instead of redoing it, just to make it easier. And now we're starting on the build proper. So this little park area here is like right near the entrance, and then I use a lot of spooky fencing, and there I changed the bricks to grayscale. Here I'm kind of just placing items, seeing where they can fit, because I do go back in later and add in some more codes that I make, which is essentially just a 9-tile path of that cobblestone, but I turned it to grayscale, so I have like a secondary one. I made quite a few paths for this island, and I will share the maker code and the dream address at the end. And stick around, because I actually have Facecam in the Dream Address tour. I have gone on stream once with the Facecam, I think twice at this point. But if you've never seen my face before, there's a face reveal at the end of this video. And again, I will have timestamps, because it is a very long video. My previous Island Mega Movies, I tried to make them about an hour and a half, but there was way too much footage for this one. I couldn't cut it down any further. I think looking at the raw footage of this one, it was like almost 8 hours of footage. So, that's fun. And there's what the 9-tile cobblestone path looks like. Here, I'm putting it in the center here, just to have like a little walkway through the park. And it does change a little bit from here. But by this point, we're almost done with the build proper. And then I'll have, as usual, a little outro of this section with the beauty shots of the build, because I like doing that. That way you get a better picture of it, and I'll see you in the next part. And for the next build on this island, we're building a cafe. This one I had to edit quite a bit, because I was obsessed with speed up back in the day. I have no idea why. It just makes things look weirder, but I think it turned out well. This is the little cafe build. I called it the Witch's Brew Cafe. It's not entirely, like, European accurate, but it was also almost Halloween when I made this island, so I wanted to include a little bit of that. And here I'm making a little tile for this area, and I'm doing kind of like my marbling technique here, which I've gone into detail with multiple times whenever I make marbling stuff. But yeah, just essentially, you want to make like little veins, and then add darker pixels to the places where things intersect, and it looks more like marbling. And here I'm making another one, which is going to be a little shelf, I believe? Yeah. So it's like a little coffee shelf. I use these as, on simple panels, just to advertise the little coffee shop. And I made a couple more after that, but here's the purple tile. I believe I used the same custom design as the purple cobblestone to get the same color palette. And then here I'm making the little Witch's Brew logo. And it's really funny watching this back now, because at the time, I was not working as a barista, but I'm actually a barista now, so this is kind of fun to see my little custom design for the Witch's Brew Cafe. And even more custom designs, I'm making a little cafe open neon sign. So this is going to be put on a simple panel. And there's the normal glass door, and then here I'm adding in the neon. So what I do essentially is I have a light ring in the middle, I surround it by darker, and then I do a little bit of variation in it with like slightly lighter, so it looks like it's glowing, and I think it turned out really well. And then this part I went back and forth quite a bit with what colors I wanted for things, but I ended up with the black bunk beds for the terraces. And I used short simple panels along with tall simple panels with my custom designs on them, and also just that normal wood texture, which is a standard one for these simple panels. And I'm putting out the seating area out front. I love those little counter chairs a lot. And then I decided to go, instead of the simple panels, with a couple of stalls and a little busking area. And I think it turned out really nice. And then that's about it. Here is the outro. And now for the next build on the island, it's a little bookstore. I'm going in and making a couple of different tiles for various areas. This first one is just a little simple brick path, which I end up making into a 3-tile path, so I have an edge piece, a middle piece, and another edge piece. So it looks nice on the edges. And then I end up making a little wood path as well. This first one didn't work how I wanted it to. I ended up with slightly bigger planks, and then I add some wood grain texture to it to make it a little bit more wood-like, so it looks more like actual wood instead of just brown. And I also add some little knots on there so it reads more as wood. And this is the little section we're working on. I'm putting out bookcases, and I ended up doing it just one wide at the back because it is a pretty small little section. And then in the back here, I wanted this to feel like a cozy little secondhand or just a little bookstore that's run by like a small family instead of a big corporation. I want it to be nice and comfy and cozy. And then I'm adding in the little checkout area there. And I really like these wood partitions. They are so nice. And of course I have to add some streetlights as well. And I love the party lights arches. They are so good. And we're almost done with this build. It's pretty tiny, but I hope you enjoyed this one and enjoy the little glamour shots. And now, time for one of the biggest builds on this island, Raven University. I really like how this turned out, and it took up a disgusting amount of space on the map, and that's how I like it. I prefer having, like, a huge build and then a bunch of smaller builds. And this island has 2 huge builds, so... But the university being finished was really satisfying. It took a lot of items, though, I'm not gonna lie. It essentially takes up a huge amount of the map. Let me pull up the map here so you can see. But yeah, this whole center part here is literally just the university. And it takes up 2 different layers of the cliff, so lots of space here. And as you can see, we're building right up against where the little street is with all of the little shops and the cafe. So, there you go. As you can imagine, it took a ton of medieval building sites, castle walls, just all of the things. And now we're going to be making the university logo with the little raven mascot, which I thought was really cute, and it was really fun to make this little thing. I also make a banner as well, because I want to use those on different items in the university just for branding, because universities usually have their little mascot and like little banners and stuff. So, yeah, to the little raven here. It took a minute to like really get it polished, especially with the pixel smoothing. I've gotten used to it over the years of playing New Horizons, but that wasn't a thing in previous Animal Crossing games, so I got kind of used to like dithering things and stuff, but it's just a different skill set. And now we're making the little banner. I wanted to include all of the different little colors in a nice little simplistic banner, just to look good on those banner items and other things. And now back to the build. More castle walls, gates, everything, everywhere. And you really have to like mess around with the spacing unless you really plan ahead, which I didn't. I just said, this is the spot I want it to be. I didn't, like, mark out the cliff numbers or anything. I should do that more often, honestly, but I don't know. It's fun to work it at, like, a puzzle. Because it's not always, like, going to be perfect spacing, because this game has really annoying spacing sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, anything with a half tile in it, that's more than a half tile, is just obnoxious to work with. I'm looking at you, shell fountains. What else? There's other annoying things. Here we go. So that's where I wanted to put, like, these little banners on, was those street lights, and then those little banner things here up in front. And now we're actually getting into, like, putting stuff out instead of just the structure of the building. And I have a little section up front here with some lockers for students. And now I'm going to start working on the classrooms. I do move around this area quite a bit because it's a big area and I didn't exactly know how I wanted to divide the space yet at this point. But yeah, this is going to be the biology classroom. And working with this small space was a little bit annoying at times because I had to like constantly pick stuff up to put stuff down. I couldn't put stuff down in the order that I thought I was going to, but you know, that's just how it works. With these, and especially with the tall items in the back, it's kind of annoying to see, but it works out in the end, and it was definitely worth it, I will say. And here I'm like adding more castle walls and gates just to kind of make separate rooms in the building. I have to say, I love making walkable buildings. If you've watched my channel before, you've heard me say this many times, I'm sure. Also here are the bathrooms. This is like a perfect space for like 2 little bathroom areas. And here I'm adding more into the biology classroom area. The biology classroom is definitely my favorite of this build. It is the best one for sure. And of course I had to put some little books and things onto the desks to look like it's a usable classroom. Here I'm adding some more fencing just to the perimeter of the area. And some little benches to sit on. I do move it around this area a little bit too, but it's one of those things. And then here I'm adjusting the classroom spaces a little bit so it like looks better, like matches the other walls. Here's the little library area. I like how this library turned out a lot. It's like a nice little sitting area over here, so you can do your homework or whatever. Very nice. I love those box sofas, too. Yeah, lots of adjustments with the furniture here. And then, of course, magazine rack. And the Moroccan set is so good. When I was making this island, I had such a struggle trying to find purple furniture that looked good, and the Moroccan set was, like, literally the best one. Some of the other purples don't look very good. Like, I don't think there's a such thing as a bad shade of purple, but they don't match at all. And the Moroccan purple is, like, the one that I want to go for, so... Ah, yes, here we go. Now we're adjusting the classroom a little bit here. Those big old chalkboards, the two-part chalkboards, look really nice. I wish they had one that was more like bio, but they don't have a lot of options for the chalkboards. And then the whiteboard, this is like a statistics classroom, or math, or whatever. Obviously it's not entirely accurate, but it's Animal Crossing, you gotta work with what you got. And then I had a little music area there as well. And I decided to make just single desks over on this classroom. Maybe it's like an AP classroom or something. And then the last little tiny details everywhere. This was a fun build. It took me a very long time, as I'm sure you can see. I will say, though, I wish the evergreen ash came in a different color, like a fall color, but that's like my one complaint. And now, the outro. The next build on the island we're doing is a smaller one, and this is the boutique build, which for some reason wasn't on my channel anymore when I was looking for videos, which is very odd. And I couldn't find it on my drives either, but thankfully I still had the raw footage, so this is probably the best that this build is going to look, which is nice. Anyway, little clothing store. I used that brick pattern I made in an earlier build for this one, and I think it looks really nice. Adding a lot of little tiny items here. It is a very small build, so not a lot of stuff can fit here, but I'm filling the space as best I can. Also, I opted to not use the wide display stands for this one because... No, I do. I use them up front, but I don't use them in the back because the bookcases are thinner, so I have more space in the area. But I do end up putting the wide display cases out front, just so I have a little display area with the light in it. And of course, all of these 2.0 rack items and stuff for the clothes are so good. And of course, I have to have the playing party lights, which I think I add back after I add the wide display stands. But because it's such a small space, I had to kind of shuffle things around a bit and figure out what looks nicest together. And plus the spacing isn't entirely even, so it was a little harder to get everything to work because I have 2 half tiles on either end of the build that are taken up. Here's where I put the white display stands in. I think they look really nice as like shop windows, and then you can put little display items inside them as well. And here's the build really starting to get together. And of course I had to add some items outside as well. This was really annoying because it's like off by a half tile, which bothers me, but it doesn't look too bad. And that's it for this one. And now to build the bakery, which is going to be right behind the build I just made. And I'm adding in a little brick pattern for the bakery, because I wanted it to have like red bricks as a little contrast, and a nod to the accent color of red, because like red is an accent color on this island. As I mentioned earlier in this video, it was a pain in the ass getting purple stuff, so I wanted to have red as an accent color, just so it doesn't feel like I don't have enough stuff in general. And that's going to come into play with the player houses later as well. But here's the brick code. I made another 3-part brick code. And then I'm putting in castle items and medieval building sites in the red brick variation, which I think is a nice little contrast, and it looks really nice compared to everything else in the area. And here we're adding in the basic structure of the building. And I had to go back and forth with what I want to put where, just because, you know, odd spacing, all of that. I end up putting in another castle tower in the back just to take up more space with a column between them, because it's just such a weird little spacing there. And then I use these storefronts as the front of the building as well. And then I put the wooden partitions in front just to kind of cover the hay a little bit, but also to make it look a little bit nicer. And then here I'm adding in the kitchen part of the bakery, as well as a stove, like the clay furnace, and then a little seating area over here. I end up adding some little coffee and some little baked goods, so the patrons at the bakery can have that here. So it's kind of competition for the cafe. Hello, and welcome back to King Note Gaming. It is I, King Note, and today I'm making a bunch of custom designs for my island of Gavotte. I wanted to make a shorter little video after the super long ones I've made recently. So here's the first design that we're going to make, which is the flag for Gavotte. And I wanted to include, obviously, the purple, main color of the island, but also like a nice contrasted red, because it is an autumnal island as well. And I wanted to include the Raven from Raven University, the biggest build on this island. As usual, I use a lot of the symmetry tool and everything. And here's the little Raven I'm adding in here. I think it turned out super cute. Just adding leaves on top as well, also using the symmetry tool to make them look identical on both sides, and then adding in some shading and some other detail to the leaves. And then I do end up moving the flag down a bit so I have more space to write the island's name at the top here. I wanted to do that in red to contrast the darker purple at the top. And it took me a couple tries to get the spacing right, but it worked out decently. And then some shading as well to the raven. And then I wanted to add a white outline to the letters so they really stand out, so you can see them a lot better on the flag. And we're almost done with the flag, and then we're going to be moving on to some clothing designs, because I knew I wanted clothing designs in this, for this island. And now, here we are, moving on to the first, like a Letterman jacket, essentially, for the university that I mentioned earlier. I'm just covering most things in purple, and then white for the sleeves to make it look like a Letterman jacket. And I also color the hoodie in black. And here I'm thinking about making it white, but then I decided to not do that, actually. I was just trying to figure out where everything lines up with the actual geometry of the clothing item. And then I do end up making it black. It was fun making some clothing, though. I haven't done it in a hot minute, and I definitely wanted some merch for this island. And now that I've got the shapes down for the hood, I color that black, and I really like how that looks with the other colors on the jacket. And I'll add a little emblem here with Raven University. I had to go back and forth quite a bit with the pixel art lettering just because it's such a tiny space and I wanted it to be readable. As you can see, like, that's way too small. And then I had to extend that a little bit, make the emblem a little bit bigger, that way so it's like actually readable as Raven University. It worked. And then I wanted to put like the Raven mascot on the back, which I did here. It was fun. I gotta do more clothing in general, to be honest. And obviously with this kind of an island, it'd be silly to not. Because you gotta have like that university merch, you know? What's a good university without some merch? I guess. I don't know. I made it like such a big part of the island, mainly because it's literally a big part of the island. It is the biggest build. And I also added some little hoodie strings as well, which I thought turned out really cute. And now it's hat time. I decided to make like a baseball cap as well. The third one I'm gonna make a flag too, like one of those handheld flags, and also a balloon dress. But I thought I'd make like a little emblem cap kind of thing for the university, which was fun too. Like I think this is the first time I've used the baseball cap design. I gotta do that more too. I think this is just teaching me, hey, slow down, make some more like cute custom designs that aren't just for decorating the island. Like clothing is fun to make too. And it was like really fun making the Raven in a bunch of different places. Highly recommend like making a baseball cap. It's actually pretty easy. There aren't that many sides to do. And I think it just looks a lot of, like, it is a lot of fun to make. And you can, like, put whatever you want on it. There is the Raven University cap. Pretty simplistic. And then I copied the same one in order to make the flag design, just so I could keep all the same palette colors and everything. That's another little tip. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people already know that, but it's the best way to just keep your colors consistent across multiple patterns. And in the middle of the design, I was called to dinner, so it stopped for a minute there, but I'm making like a little handheld flag for the island university, which is pretty much everything I'm doing today. I might do some more custom designs on this island too. I'm not done with it yet as of recording this, and I really want to be done with it really bad. I am tired of this island not being finished, so Now that I'm not streaming for a little bit while I'm recording this, hopefully I'll have time to actually finish the island. But it's a pretty simple little flag design, just RU for Raven University, and then I make the letters thicker just so they're a little bit more visible. And then I also add just like a little raven on the back of the flag. Pretty simple design, but sometimes simple is best for like that merchandise kind of feel. Here's the back of the flag, which looks like a total mess. But here I'm going to be adding the raven on here, which I think turned out really cute as well. Just like that mountainy shape, and then I add on to it to look like the body. It's really easy to draw, even with the controller. And now it's time to turn the Letterman jacket into a dress, which I did make quite a few changes, but it's the same color scheme, essentially. I was originally going to make it like more identical to the Letterman jacket, but I decided to make it like its own unique kind of a thing with less like merch feel to it and more like just a purple dress, which I think was a good play. And yeah, the line tool with symmetry is like so good for creating like the back of a dress like collar kind of thing. So much easier to use. And then I'm making like a little centrifugal ribbon. I don't think that was what I meant to say, but I'll go with it. Just like a little wraparound ribbon along the circumference of the dress, which worked out nicely. And then I'm going to add some like just shading, and I'm going to get rid of the raven. I'm going to make it less about the university and more just a purple dress with the same color scheme as my other stuff. And then here I'm adding in some shading, just a simple little bit of shading around the ribbon. Nothing crazy. I think I kept the sleeves white too. I didn't want anything like too weird. And then here I'm adjusting a purple color for some shading underneath the ribbon and underneath the Raven University little plaque thing, which I don't remember. No, I don't keep that Raven University part, so I decided to make it less about that and more just a more tasteful purple dress. I didn't do anything to the sleeves. I think they look fine white. And here I am removing the Raven University part because I didn't really think it looked good with the dress. I also add some little details to the collar to make it look like a little lace collar. I tried to add in some Raven University stuff, but I didn't end up keeping it. It didn't look very good. I changed my mind. I think it looks fine just like that. And here I am adding in the little lace detailings to the collar. And that's going to be it for the designs. Hello, and welcome back to King Note Gaming. It is I, King Note, and today we're back on my island of Gavotte, making a little teeny tiny build today. I wanted to extend the upper cliff towards my peninsula and have like a little lookout kind of spot. And I thought I would try some different things with editing this time, because I threw iMovie to the curb because it kept messing up for no reason, and I'm sick of it, so brand new editing software. And hopefully I will make better quality videos because of it. And I decided to add in, like, include the audio from the original clips, just so you can hear the little noises when I put things down. So let me know what you think about that, because I kind of like it, but if you don't, just let me know. And I really like this editing style of just kind of including everything in real time and just jump cutting between things instead of speeding it up. Anyway, it's a pretty simple little build. It's not a huge space either, so I didn't really have a lot to do, but it was a lot of running around to grab items and trees from other parts of the island. Obviously, that's all cut out. But it's right next to the cafe. I wanted it to be like a little touristy area where you can come over here, relax, maybe have some coffee from the Witch's Brew Cafe, and just chill out. And that's about it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed this little teeny tiny video. More videos to come. I actually finished Gavotte, so look forward to that. Hello, and welcome back to King Note Gaming. It is I, King Note, and today we're building the gigantic build that is the third of my map, aka the neighborhood. It literally has all of my villagers' houses, and it took a lot. A lot of items. And I shift things around quite a bit during this, but like all the paths and stuff are already out, which makes it a little better. And there you can see, it's literally 1/3 of the map. It's insanely big. So, where all the houses are, that's what we're building today. Also, I felt like putting the map here because it covered myself struggling with these medieval building sites that I don't even end up staying. So, there's the map. Obviously, that's after everything is finished. But here I am putting in the castle walls instead, and I think it was a better choice. Because, like, having just the medieval walls is a little bit much, but having a variety is much nicer. I used a lot of fencing, a lot of hedge fencing. We do use some stone and iron fencing as well, which I think all looks really nice together. Also, can I just say that I absolutely adore the autumn. All the trees, all the leaves falling, it's gorgeous. It looks so nice. And I'm really liking the new editing software. It's DaVinci Resolve. I got the free version. It's so much nicer. Plus, I think having the little sound effects in is nice. I think I'm sticking with that. But, as I'm recording this, I'm already done with Gavotte. This tends to happen towards the end of an island's lifespan. Once I'm like, okay, I can just push through and finish this, I'll record everything and then edit everything at the end. So, we have a couple more builds after this one. And then I will be probably doing the DA tour on a live stream, and then I'll edit that later. So, if that's decided, I'll put it in the description or the pinned comment or whatever. But I had a lot of fun editing this. It's much easier instead of just speeding everything up and making it look all weird. I enjoyed the real-time speed footage. What else can I talk about? The update's coming out soon when I'm recording this. I'm super excited for that. Also, I can't wait to have more storage space and all of the Rossetti features. I think that's like what I'm most excited for in general. And the new items. I want new items. I want more purple items. It's too late for this island, because Gavotte is my last 2.0 island. Which is fine. I was almost done with it anyway. So, knowing that we had an update coming out made me go, yep, it's time to just finish this island. And as I mentioned in a live stream previously, after Gavotte's done, we're bringing back Heron, my boy in the Heron-themed island. Which I'm also excited for, because it's just been benched so many times, and it'll be so nice to have a summer island during the winter when I'm doing winter islands. And technically, my island of Gila is a fall island too, but it's meant to evoke desert, so, you know. Having a lot of fun. And plus, Gila is Southern Hemisphere, so it's not going to be fall until May. I did that to be nice to myself, to give myself more time,
because I don't really like looping these seasons right away. I will say it took me forever to get all of like these street lamps and stuff. I had to grind really hard to get all these items. I've mentioned it before, but I just don't use treasure islands. Nothing wrong with them. I think they're a helpful service. But I feel like I hoard for the apocalypse. You know what I mean? Like, if for whatever reason those services no longer exist, I still want my items. So, you know, that's why I have my trading island. I had a lot of flowers as well. And lots of just like little tiny things to finish up the areas. The builds coming up, I have a little statue garden / forest build coming up. And I also have my player houses coming up as well. So those will be both fun and both coming up soon. Ideally, I'll be ready to just go on to 3.0 content as soon as everything is done and uploaded, but I'll probably be doing 3.0 content on my live streams anyway. If you've never been to a live stream, I do them on Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to see like some new content and not just like speed builds or say hi, that's when I do live streams on this channel. But yeah, definitely excited for that. I'm trying to think of what else to yak about, because this is not a long video, but it's long enough where I have to like actually think, what can I say? My last video, I didn't realize how like little content I had in general, that I was just like, oh man, I edited it down to like 2 minutes. Which was fine. Like, I kind of like having the occasional tiny video. Plus I'm editing it down into shorts, because I should probably make more of those. I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, do you find channels via YouTube Shorts? Because I do sometimes, I guess, but I'm not like... I'm old grandpa, man. I don't really care for short-form content that much. But if you would like more of that, like, let me know, because I can edit things down a lot easier into vertical video now with my new software. So if you want some of that, let me know any ideas you have in the comments. Because I feel like I can do some things. Like, I've already planned to do some custom design ones, because I can just take the custom designs from my previous videos and just cut them out and just do a little custom design short. I don't know. That could be interesting. If anything, like, I'm spitballing here sounds at all interesting, please let me know, because I really want to, you know, make something that you guys want to watch. This is still like a hobby channel for me, even though I have mentioned I am not working currently for reasons. But I don't want to treat this entirely like my job because I don't want to burn myself out, you know? Especially since it's just me making things for fun like I should be. Because, you know, Animal Crossing is fun. It's a fun game. Don't burn yourself out on it, you know? I've done that several times, and I still come back because I'm a masochist. Oh, also, side note, this little area over here, Rod was being literally the worst, and taking up every little space I needed to be in. And I ended up putting the rock garden little area here. I don't finish that in this video, but I'm laying out the path for the rock garden, and Rod decided to take out his fishing rod and just stay there. I literally like watching him like a hawk because I wanted him to move, and then as soon as he does that, I try and push him out of the way, but he sits his little butt down. You little shithid, how dare you. Like, I don't know. The last couple of builds on this island, the villagers were really uppity and all up in my face, and I was not appreciating that. I will say though, like, the color palette on this island is not one I would immediately think of. Believe it or not. I'm not the biggest fan of red, but the red and purple, just wonderful together. And of course, all of the orangey and red trees on top of that. They didn't have enough purple. But, again, fingers crossed 3.0 gives us more purple, because I love purple. It's my second favorite color. So, hello, where's the purple? And as people have pointed out, like when I talked to them about it, the shades of purple are just disgustingly inconsistent and weird. I also added like more little things around the neighborhood and around resident services as well, just because I was out there and doing stuff. And this part of the map's so big anyway that whatever, I'll add some more stuff anywhere else I can think of. But yeah, I can't wait to like tear this island down and retrieve all of these items again. It feels like a rental service at this point for me, but it is worth it. And I'm glad I stuck with like the black for consistency, because like the iron chairs and benches look really nice in black. Then they don't take away from any of the colors here. And this is just like the very top of the neighborhood area. Added some more trees in. And these fence items were a pain earlier, but they were easier to work with on this surface. And I like the rusted ones a lot. I think they look nice in this instance. And layering. I layered a lot. Lots of layering. And then I just decided to fence the whole back area anyway while I was at it. It's just one of those things I'm like, if I weren't recording for YouTube, my previous method of decorating islands was just doing random stuff whenever I felt like it. So this kind of felt like that a little bit, which was nice. I like being able to just do whatever I feel like, in a way, and it's kind of setting up for the next build as well. The last build I'm going to be uploading is the player houses, I believe, because the beaches I did on stream. So if you want to see the beaches, you can just, you know, scrub through that. I will make an edited version of the beaches when I do the mega movie for Gavotte. And we're almost done here, so enjoy the outro. Hello, and welcome back to King Note Gaming. It is I, King Note, and today we're back on my island of Gavotte, doing a much smaller build than last time. This time I'm focusing on the very northern part of my map, which has like a little strip with the campsite, and a little foresty area, and this area too, of course. And Rod, as usual, is an absolute menace during this build. He would not leave me alone. Once. But that's just how it be when you're trying to build during the daylight in this game, I swear to God. Anytime I build at night, it feels so much better, but it's not good for footage. I make a little statue garden in this area, and this is where Rod becomes a problem, because I really need to put paths down, and of course I have to include the statues. There they go, very nice. I did 2 motherly statues facing the opposite directions, just to add a little bit of nice layering. And here's where Rod became an issue, because I had to literally wait there for him to look at the statue, move to a different area. I felt like I was dealing with a very annoying Roomba. Like, he was literally right up where I needed to be at all times. And it made this little simple path-making excursion way more painful, so thank you so much for that, Rod. Truly nice of you. I do love Rod, though. He's really cute. But it took way longer than it had to just to finish this little tiny cobblestone section because of that little rat. But it turned out nice, and that's all that I can ask for. I also added little cobblestone circles. They're not really circles, they're more like squares, but little cobblestone squares leading up to the area as well, so it's like more easy to see the entrance itself as opposed to just walking right past it. I mean, you can kind of see it while you're walking past, but you might not know you can get up there. And now this is the foresty section, which I used a lot of the mushroom items in the classic red and white spotted mushrooms, and I also used my little leaf designs there, which unfortunately I didn't record the process of making those designs, but they're really pretty easy to make. I tried to make them the same shape of the leaves in the game, essentially, with different shading and whatnot. And then I decided to continue the cobblestone square pathway kind of thing going throughout the area, just to be like, you know, make it a little bit easier to figure out where the promenade itself is. And of course I had to include more trees, lots of red leaf piles, because it is the forest area. And there we are. There is the end.
And now for the beaches, which I recorded originally on stream. If you want to see the full unedited VOD, you're welcome to. I don't know why you would, but I promised myself that I was going to edit this, and when I got to the Mega movie, I forgot that I said I was going to edit the beaches. But here it is, and that's a huge reason why this video is so long. But I cut it down to not very long at all, so let's get moving. Obviously, a lot of purple items here. Of course, that's the primary color of this island. And also, I had Victoria wear the Raven University cap because it's cute, and I made it, so she's gonna wear it. And also, the shell stuff in purple is really, really good, so that was a good tool in my arsenal. And then there's the little rock garden here, which I didn't make usable. It's just a dream address island. I technically still have this island on a Switch Lite right now, because I haven't gotten my villagers' photos yet. So, it still exists. It's just mostly torn down. Anyway, I'm making plank paths. This is one of my favorite things to make for beach builds, is planks, just because they look nice on the beach. So I have the transparent pixels in between them, so you can see the beach underneath, and I'm just making some basic, like, log planks here. And I do go back in and add some separation to the planks, so they don't look like they're just one continuous plank back and forth. But I put the grain around the knots just to make it look more interesting and realistic. And of course I added some color variation as well, because that way it looks more interesting, and the smoothing makes it look better too. So, feel free to use this design if you want to. Obviously, I have the design code to download, which is going to be at the tour at the end of the video. But if you want to just make your own version of this, like, feel free. Leah, who you should follow her on here, Leah's Cozy Crossing, in the chat while I was making this asked if she could copy it, and I said, absolutely. I don't gatekeep my stuff. Please, if you want to take inspiration from my designs, please do. I'm happy to help people figure things out, because I like to do pixel art, and I like to share it with people, so if you ever feel like, ooh, I shouldn't copy his designs, do it. I don't care. This is my express permission for everyone. Please copy my designs. I don't care. I upload them for people to use them, so anyway, I also made the vertical planks here, which I essentially just took the same design and kind of copy-pasted it, but did that so I can recolor it a little bit, make it the right wood grain pattern. But yeah, planks are probably my favorite for beach. I did make, like, rocky stone ones on the beach of my island of Java, which also has a mega movie on my channel if you're interested. It's a jungle core ancient aliens island, but I think wood planks are the best for beaches. They're pretty simple design to make, too. Like, you don't have to make them nearly as detailed as I do. I just wanted them to look really nice, because, yeah. And moving right along, once this little design section is over, we're going to start actually decorating more on the beaches. I do go back and add some pathing to the areas I've already done. So here's what it looks like on the beach. I also cover the dock, and look at that, it's a 2.0 dock, so there's no hotel. And it's kind of funny because I believe Gavotte has a hotel now, and it looks all weird. But the dream address is a 2.0 dream address. And also, Kid liked to hang out with me while I was doing this as well. But yeah, lots of those beach chairs, and also pergolas. I love putting pergolas on the beach. I also love putting gazebos on the beach, and, like, archways that you can walk through, especially on the vertical parts of the beach where you don't have a lot of space to put anything, but it just makes the walk look a little bit nicer. I also included a lot of Festival items as well in purple, because they are perfect and I love them. I think the Festival set is my favorite holiday set, like, straight up. I love it so much. It works for a lot of things. And there's the Arch Party lights. I think it looks nice, and it takes up more space, but it's still walkable, which is the most important thing to me. Also, I have those little leaf designs everywhere as well, and I wanted to include a area with carnival stuff as well, because there's a bunch of cool carnival stuff with purple and red and black and white, which looks really nice here. And then I have a little duck hunt area there. But yeah, I want it to be like a beach boardwalk kind of thing. And I think it turned out really nice. I like those teacups a lot too. The beaches are kind of annoying to decorate on though, because sometimes it's such a narrow space that you have to do weird things like that to get it in the right spot. But I liked layering items as well, putting like taller things in the back so you can see it from more angles. And I put a little money down there just to represent somebody using a coin to pay for that little game. Also red leaf piles everywhere as well, as it is autumn on this island, and I love the red leaf piles. But yeah, while this is going on, I guess I can talk about something else, because really, what am I going to talk about? I'm building on the beach, I'm putting items out. So I guess I just want to talk about the future of this channel, which I am so happy that I've had over 200 people subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing. I highly appreciate it. My next video coming out is going to be the winter of year 1 of my Frugal Farmer Challenge, so look forward to that. Once I'm done doing the voiceovers on that, I'm going to start editing that one. I want to do a Tomodachi livestream. I actually posted a poll recently on my channel of which day you guys would want to have that on. I did post that in my Discord server, which Discord, oh my god. The other day, as I'm recording this, I was logged out of my account on every single device because of suspicious activity, and I can't get back into my original account because I don't have the two-factor authentication codes anymore. I looked everywhere for them, and I didn't set up a phone number or anything, which was stupid of me, which I'm going to do that with my current account. The good news is, I had a backup account that I made a long time ago, like in 2018, that I still had access to, so I just moved to that one. Anyway, just craziness has been happening for me. But I feel pretty settled into my new job, which is great, which means that I definitely want to do more on this channel. I'm only part-time as a barista, which is by design. I haven't really opened up about my mental health on this channel because it's not super important to the stuff that I make, but I have bipolar disorder and anxiety disorder, so I can't work more than full-time or I will lose it, but basically. So it's been nice to have a part-time job where I get off super early. Like, sometimes I have a shift from 6:30 until 11, and I have the rest of the day. So that's why I'm able to stream still. It's because I have earlier shifts at work, or sometimes I just have extra days off, which is really nice. So, this channel I'll be doing more and more on. Also, when I stream, I use Facecam now. Partially because I just want to, but also because when I wasn't doing Facecam on stream, I would constantly get people trying to get me to buy VTuber models, and it was really obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was so annoying. So, yeah, you'll see my mug more often. And yeah, hopefully someday we'll get memberships, because I would love to do members content and that kind of thing. But for now, I guess if you want to join the Discord server, I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle that up until I get memberships. Because I do have friends in there, and I want it to be like a small little server. But maybe someday I'll make a public one, I don't know, let me know what you think. I used to have a big public server. But this is gonna be it for the beaches, and I'll see y'all in the next one. And now, starting out with Quinn's house, we're going to be decorating all of my villagers' houses. I kind of go back to Quinn after a minute because I didn't unlock the pillars correctly when I was doing HHP on this island, because I did the as quick as possible speedrun without time traveling, which is not how you unlock everything, by the way. Yeah. While we watch through this, I mean, I don't really feel like I need to focus on the build itself, so I'm just gonna yap for a bit. Villager homes, like, I like decorating them, but I've said this multiple times, I don't want to be like a broken record, but I definitely prefer exterior decoration. I do like interior decorating to an extent, but I always say it's like a shower. I don't want to take the shower, and then once I get in, I don't want to get out. It's that kind of a thing. I also wanted to give Quinn, like, a lot of cute, like, things, because she seems like a softie to me. I love the sisterly villagers. They're some of my favorites. I think Cranky, Sisterly. Those are my two favorites. I don't know what it is, but obviously Cranky is my favorite. Rolf is my favorite villager. I will always love the Crankies the best. I love a grandpa. I feel like a grandpa sometimes. I'm not even 32 yet, but I feel old, you know? And you know what's kind of crazy that's coming up in August, other than my birthday, is the anniversary of me starting this channel. Technically, I believe my channel started a little bit earlier, but my first video I posted was from August 7th of 2020, when the game was still super new. And I wasn't consistent at all. Like, my oldest video is kind of a nothing burger, but it's kind of fun because it shows my first island and what I was doing with it. And I don't know, maybe I should react to that on stream or something. Anyway, but I don't know, maybe I'll do something exciting for the 6th anniversary of this channel, because that sounds like a fun thing to do. I've also been thinking about doing another 30-day island, like I did with Berkshire, but I want to finish an island first, which I don't know how long that's going to take me, especially considering I have, like, mostly just been playing on stream recently. I did finish a build on my own, but now that I'm less tired, hopefully I'll be able to do that, because I do want to have a whole month where I just have a 30-day island and then I can focus on other things. But yeah, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I should do that farm core idea that I've been thinking of, called Pastoral, as my 30-day island. Because it's like, it's pretty simplistic with the colors and the items, and obviously I have my trading island, which has all of the items I'll need in it. So maybe I'll start preparing for that, and have that as a 30-day island. The only problem is it takes a while to edit 30 videos, and I want to have enough videos going out to be able to do that. It's just a little bit tricky, but maybe I'll do it in October. Because I do want it to be an autumnal island, because I want to do another autumnal island, and for some reason, I don't know why, but when I think of farms, I think of fall, or autumn. And I think that's just because I think of, like, pumpkin patches, and hay bales, and, like, hay rides, and that kind of a thing, as an American. So, yeah, I think I'll aim for that. Because I do need, like, the 30 days in some other month, and then enough time to edit. It's a fun thing to do, though. I do like doing that 30-day challenge thing. And there is Quinn's house. We'll be going back to that. Or was that Bob? I think that was Bob, actually. I'm not paying attention. Anyway, that's not important. I have had this video up on my channel, but I re-edited it because I have gotten better at editing. And that's another key reason why I wanted to do these mega movies. It's because going back and being like, oh god, no, I was still kind of new to video editing back when I made these islands. Gavotte, you know, I got to a point where I was better, but not to the level I am now, so that's exactly what I wanted to do with this mega movie. And this is the last mega movie for a while. Obviously, I haven't finished an island since Gavotte. This is my most recent island that I've finished. So there'll be more new content coming out soon. Technically, this one does include some new content, because I do have the beaches were edited for the first time, and also I'm doing a tour with Facecam, so I think it's still worth watching. But yeah, I'm super excited to finish my other islands. If you haven't been following the channel, I have multiple islands at once. I collect consoles. I have 4 primary switches. I don't have a Switch 2 yet. My partner and I are like trying to save up for one because they're expensive, and we want to share the Switch too because it's expensive. Uh, but yeah, I've got the Animal Crossing Switch. I have the Scarlet and Violet OLED, and then I have 2 normal big Switches, and then I have every color of Switch Lite, and then a whole bunch of 3DS consoles. But it's kind of nice because I can use the Switch Lites as kind of island storage, which is why Gavotte, the island that is on screen right now, is currently on a Switch Lite because I'm still trying to get my villagers photos. That's one of my goals on my Forever Island, is to get every single villager photo. And I figure, since I'm making all these islands, I might as well get the villager photos of the villagers on those islands. So I think that's efficient enough. But yeah, I wanted to make these layouts different. I didn't want all of them to be the same. So I used the partition walls in a bunch of different ways. Also, this is when Poppy Plays came in for a raid. Thank you so much, Poppy, by the way. I appreciated that raid a lot. That was my first raid, so shout out to Poppy. Thank you so much. And then, yeah, the skateboard rack, oh my god. Like, I think this is the first island I've used it on, and it's so sick. I love the variations on it so much. And of course, all the hanging items. I had to use a lot of hanging items. It doesn't feel complete without it. And now we're moving on to Kid's house. He already had kind of the vibes going, but not quite. Let's see, what else can I go on about? Oh yeah, so I also am trying to branch out and do more things in Animal Crossing. I've already kind of done that. Like I mentioned, that Stardew Valley series I'm working on. Once I finish Winter, I'm gonna combine those parts together into a full year video, which will be good, because I know like the parts are a little bit more annoying, but I didn't want people to wait like several months just to get one out. And I do shiny hunting on this channel too. I'm trying my best to get my Fire Red Leaf Green saves on the Switch to the Safari Zone, because I really, really want to do Safari Week this year. I'm a full odds hunter. I've been full odds hunting for, gosh, over a decade now, I think, because I started in like 2016, I think. Yeah. Obviously, I've been playing Pokemon all my life, so I first got Pokemon Sapphire when I was like 10. In store, by the way. Like, I literally went with my friend to go to the store to get that game. That's how old I am. But I've never played Fire Red Leaf Green, even though I do have copies of that game. Like the original cartridge. I don't know why I've never played through it. I just haven't. So, we're currently hunting Squirtle on stream, which has been fun. And I'm facecam there too. So, I should have another Squirtle stream coming up at some point. I always keep my stream schedules in posts, because I want people to know ahead of time. Miss Sydney's house was a lot of fun to make, I will say. I enjoyed making hers because I wanted hers to be more light, because she's like a really cute, sweet, light girly. And I tried a couple of different layouts here and went back and forth a bit. Also, that party carpet's really cute. But yeah, I didn't want all of them to be like dark and gloomy. I wanted some of them to have like a light feel to them. And I really wanted them to reflect the villagers' personalities too, because I don't want them to all be just the theme of the island. I want them to reflect the villager that's living there. So I'm trying to think of like what else I can do on this channel. The one thing that I've been working on in the background that's kind of a crazy long-term project is actually related to Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know how popular that stuff would be on this channel. Obviously, I mostly play Nintendo games and Stardew Valley, but I'm a gamer of many interests. I don't want to be trapped in one niche. I know that's not, like, the smartest decision as a small channel, but I don't care. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I like doing it. And it'd be cool if I could get money for it, but I'm not gonna press that. It's not important. I have a job, you know? But I love the Chow Garden. Okay? Sounds random as hell, but it's another creature thing. Okay? I love genetics. I like flower breeding in Animal Crossing. Chow breeding is very similar. And I don't know, what do you think? I might do some Chow videos at some point. Just little garden tours, because I think that would be fun. Also, it would be a full circle moment for me, because my first YouTube channel that I actually posted to as a kid was a Chow channel. And, yeah, I'm not going to give you the name of it or anything. It's kind of embarrassing. It's cute, though. Like, it's endearing. I've shown some of my friends. But I used to do Chow garden tours, so it'd be kind of fun to do Chow stuff again. Just as a funny, like, full circle moment. And I'm still playing that game. Like, my dad would joke with me and say, you still play the same games from when you were a kid. I'm like, yeah, I do, because I like them. I play new games too, obviously, but I'm very loyal to the series I like. And I'm very loyal to, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. Oh my god. But if you'd be interested in that, let me know, because I'll probably do it anyway, just because I really want to do it. But yeah, Chow are fun. I do have the Steam version with mods. I'd have to figure out how to get recordings from my PC onto my Mac. But if I could figure that out, I would totally, like, make a file just to play in. I think that would be a lot of fun. Because I do want to spread from just Animal Crossing. I named this channel King Note Gaming on purpose. I didn't want to become a only Animal Crossing channel, because that's like a little bit too limiting for me. Even though I do love this game, I do want to break from it occasionally. And then, of course, I got Tomodachi Life, which I'm excited to play on stream. I think that's just going to be a stream thing. I don't think I'm going to make videos of it, but if you really want videos of Tomodachi Life, like edited streams, please let me know. Because I know not everyone likes stream VODs. I don't particularly like stream VODs. Like, I will watch them for specific channels, but I don't particularly like watching them after the fact. So if you want to see a Tomodachi Life series, shout out in the comments. But I'm definitely going to be playing it on stream. Actually, I might even include a poll in the comments, or just, like, ask you here. I have 3 days available that I'm trying to get people to decide on what they want the Tomodachi livestream to be on. And that's going to be Monday, June 15th at 1 p.m. PST, Tuesday, June 16th at the same time, or Friday, June 19th at 2 p.m. because I get off of work a little bit later. But yeah, please let me know in the comments if you want that, because if you do, I will 100% choose that date and include it in my little polls. And then this was another fun house to make. This is Ruby's house. I think I mentioned earlier in the video that Cole and Ruby I kind of consider brother and sister, but she's mostly white, so I want her house to be mostly white, and that's another accent color. I mean, white isn't technically a color, it's a shade, but, you know, black and white are always fair game in my mind. Plus a little bit of pink is not gonna hurt anybody either. And I like this little kitchen area too. But yeah, it was fun. Like, I think of these villager interiors as kind of a puzzle, because obviously you don't have a ton of space to work with, and you have to kind of work around the limitations of the space to make it feel nice and full. But not, like, too full. I want the villager to still be able to walk everywhere. That's, like, my #1 rule with Animal Crossing is, can you walk through it? If the answer is no, you have to redo it. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, having it unwalkable, but that's just my preference. We're almost done with Ruby's house. I definitely gave her a lot of little details here, but I love Ruby. She's a really cute villager. I also love Cole too. He's very underrated also. And also that little sakura clock is really adorable. It was nice having something other than, like, dark colors and purple. And the little milk lamps are, like, one of my favorite lamps, too. They're so nice. Also, the rose rug is nice as well. But yeah, the little lighting, like, it's just, the lighting in this game is so good, dude. I can't get over how good, like, the lighting and the physics and everything are. And now we're moving on to Miss Cleo, who is another highly underrated villager. Also, for some reason, her original house is an office, which is very Raymond vibes, which confused me. But I don't know. Some of the, like, base houses for these villagers are confusing, to say the least. Some of them make perfect sense. Some of them are confusing. But I wanted Cleo to have a very elegant kind of a house. She is a snooty after all. And also, like, she's, like, pale purple and really pretty. I love her a lot. And I almost never see anyone talk about her, which is kind of crazy, because she's a really nice villager. And yeah, here I am adding in the little details. Also adding the hyacinth lamps in purple. The way that the glow of the purple light hits is so good. I am obsessed with it. It's amazing. Like, I can't get over how good the lighting is in this game. It just... Oh. Oh yeah, another thing I didn't mention earlier. I try to make a cooking and crafting area for my villagers' houses so they don't have to break up the layout to be cooking or crafting. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it works. But that's just like a little pro tip from me, is try to include a crafting area and a cooking area in their homes, so they don't have to, like, mess up the layout just to cook or craft. Also, those hanging curtains with the wisteria are so nice. Moving on to Miss Stella's home, another one of my favorite villagers. She is so cute. I love Stella. I love the sheep a lot. I mean, to be fair, I like pretty much every villager in this game. There's one who must not be named, but if you've seen my villager ranking list, you would know who that is. I love the sheep, for the most part. Muffy, I almost included Muffy on this island. She would have been perfect, but I already had her on Lacrimosa previously, which was my abandoned post-apocalypse island. I would have loved to have her, but again, I already had her on that other island, so I don't really like to repeat villagers super often, unless it's like my forever island, because yeah, of course I'll repeat my favorite villagers on my forever island. But if I'm making a dream address island, I want to have new villagers, if possible. Bob was a repeat, but come on, he's purple, and he's Bob. I can't not have Bob. But I had him on 404 previously. I really, really wish that I recorded 404's projects, because that's one of my favorite islands I've ever made. I do have one video of 404 on this channel from a long time ago, but I don't know. Maybe I should make another Vaporwave island at some point, just because I feel like I could do better. There's more items, because I believe that was a 1.0 island? I think it was barely 2.0. Anyway, having a 3.0 Vaporwave Island would be really, really good. I also love the layering of the curtains and the lights and everything, too. It's really nice. I love layering. And now we're on to player houses. That was really fast. This is Victoria's house, the main rep of the island. And she is a character that I've had for many, many, many years. Just an original character of mine. She's a vampire, so I wanted her house to feel, like, old and rich, which is what I'm going for here. And this took me a minute to get the layout right on the living room area, but oh my god, after doing all the villager houses, it was so much nicer to have way more space. I also wanted to include some red accents as well, because red is the accent color of this island. So I wanted things to be, like, not just all purple, but also dark woods, black, red, etc. And the second player house is going to be mostly red. So we'll get to that when we get to that. I wanted a little crafting area. I wanted a little dining room area / kitchen in the living room because I had other ideas for these smaller rooms. And we're getting into the home stretch of the building parts of this video. Want to add more of a little kitchen area. I didn't have nearly as much items as I had unlocked with HHP, but I had a lot to work with for Victoria because I had this island for a long time. You'll see that with the second player character's house, Alexander, he had less furniture to work with, but I kind of like that his house is more minimum than Victoria's is. Because Victoria is kind of an extra girl. She likes a lot of clutter, she likes a lot of things. Alexander, not as much. But they're both vampires. They have 2 adopted dads that are like roommates, they're not really together. And Victoria is the girlfriend of my character Sophie. If you've seen Fugue, Sophie's on Fugue, along with her dads and her brother. And then Alexander is her brother's boyfriend. So that's how they relate to like my main core cast of characters that I have on my Forever Island. And of course I have to include a Seabass Pie, because Seabass have tortured me for over 20 years, so of course I have to include a Seabass Pie as revenge. I wouldn't have it any other way, and when New Horizons said, you can cook sea bass, I said, say less. I always use sea bass pie as my food of choice for moving trees and stuff, so. And then I wanted a little, like, area, to have that area over there with the counter tables that I wanted to be kind of like a cabinet for fine china and that kind of thing. That's what I was going for. This was kind of a pain to go through. Oh, and now we're moving on to the next room, which is the bathroom. I had a lot of fun with this bathroom. I made it a very interesting layout, because initially I put the sink in the back, but I end up having the sink towards the front. And you view it from the angle of which you come in instead of from this angle. And I think that made it a little bit more interesting to look at. And of course the purple sconces as well. I love those a lot. The floral sconce is such a good item. Comes in a lot of good colors. And I kind of went back and forth with things as usual. I don't usually have a 100% planned out layout for these when I build them, which probably shows in the video, but I think the creative process and how I move things is more interesting than just saying, yeah, I went on to HHP and I planned this out first. I appreciate that people do that, though. Like, that's a smart idea. I'm just not one of them. I just like to kind of wing it. And I also love the toilet paper set, because it just reminds me of the pandemic and how people hoarded toilet paper, and every time I see it, I think of that, because there were so many memes at the time of that. This game has so many weird memories attached to it. I'm not gonna, like, it makes me laugh. Every time I think about this game, I'm like, oh yeah, I love New Horizons. It's the game that came out during the pandemic, and everyone just went crazy for it. Which was ultimately a net positive for Animal Crossing, but for a while there I'm like, oh god, there's all these people who have never played the series before complaining about villagers, and it feels like an endless cycle. Every time a new game comes out, they're the new players that come in, and they complain about villagers looking ugly. And it's, I get it, right? There are some villagers that objectively look weird, but that's part of the charm. And it's, as someone who's been playing since the first game, since, like, I think I got the game in, like, 2002 or 3. And I've been playing since then. And it has been just a cyclical problem. Ooh, now we're at the lounge, which is probably my favorite build in this house. Because I kind of ran out of ideas, and then I thought, you know what? We should have a little lounge area, and that record rug was just begging to be used, and it's so cute too. And I wanted just a little seating area for people to sit at in the house, you know. I do end up having a little business area in the basement as well, but I wanted to have a little area for Victoria to just come here and chill and vibe. And I wanted cute little decorations and stuff too. And a little music lounge area is a nice little thing. So if you're running out of ideas for your villager's house, or your character's house, or even your villager's house, try a little lounge. They're really cute. I liked how this turned out. And now moving on to the next room in Victoria's house, which is a little walk-in closet. I definitely wanted to have something different than usual room builds that I do, and I think a little walk-in closet is perfect for Victoria. She's very fashionable, she likes clothes, so I thought that would be perfect for her character, and just look nice too. And kind of reflect the boutique on the island. So it's like she's shopped at that boutique for years and built up her collection of clothes. And I also wanted to include some sewing items and stuff as well, because she would definitely know how to make her own clothes as well. And then cute little portraits also. And I like that purple cube light a lot too. That turned out really nice. And now it's time for Alexander's house. This is Victoria's brother, and this house is basically going to be red because it represents the accent color of the island. So that's what we're doing here. His living room is really nice too. I loved using that giant big old kiln rug. And thankfully the rug is far enough away from the fireplace. I have played The Sims since The Sims 2, and if you know anything about The Sims, you know that rugs are a no-no in front of a fireplace. I've done it before in Animal Crossing. It doesn't matter in Animal Crossing, but I still got that little twinge of, ooh, is that gonna burn down my house? It won't in Animal Crossing. And now I'm making him a little kitchen area. I love the ironwood set a lot too, it's really nice. Like the combination of the ironwood set along with a few other things. The sloppy sink, of course. I love the sloppy series. It is probably my favorite series to use. Especially with all the dishes there. It looks more lived in and cute. And his little areas are going to be a little bit less decorated, just because I didn't have as many items for him. But I had enough, and I think it still looks really nice. And you can also, the diner clock, you can put a custom design on, so I put the Raven University logo on that as well, just for another little touch. And I love using those store shelves as like a pantry space, just because it looks like a little pantry. And obviously you can use like partition walls or whatever to separate it a bit more, but I just made it a little open area. And then more red things. And then he needed to have his little gamer room, because of course he needs a gamer room. He do be gaming with a Y, because he's gay. Sorry, that was a stupid joke. Yeah. I wanted him to have a nice little gaming area, and like a very aesthetically red gaming area, which I think looks really, really nice. I'm not the biggest fan of red. It's not my favorite color by any means. Blue is, but it's fun working with colors that I don't normally like working with. I love purple, though. Red is a great accent color for this island, so it was nice to make something that wasn't burning purple into my retinas. And this little room turned out really nice as well. And then this is like a little spare room. I made it like a guest room, so like his boyfriend can stay in here if he's tired or they don't want to share a bed or whatever, you know? Or somebody else comes over. But yeah, it's just like a little spare / guest room, which I think turned out really, really nice. And I liked using all the little tiny incensey kind of things, just for the vibes, and all the different kind of lighting. Like, this game has made me use way more lamps than I ever would have in the older games, because the lighting is just so good. Speaking of lighting being good, the downstairs I made into a basement arcade / bathroom, because I forgot to get to a bathroom, you know, in any other room, so here's the basement arcade / bathroom / laundry room. And I put little curtain partitions up too. I think that little space on the side makes a really good area for a bathroom, honestly. And I like using the little shower head so I don't have to have like a shower, and I can also just have a bath shower. And I didn't realize you could put stuff on top of those cabinets. I think I did know. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, I wanted to have like a little concession area as well. Just like how Victoria's house had a basement movie theater, I wanted Alexander to have his own little business in the basement. So, little basement arcade. And I think it turned out really nice. And like, God, the lighting's so good. And now, finally, it's time for his bedroom. And then I went back and forth with different bedside tables, but I believe I end up with those clothing rack ones, like the little small ones. And a little seating area, a little gaming space too, a little place to watch some TV or some read or whatever. Lined the walls with a bunch of bookshelves, and he also is very fashionable as well, so I included like a little closet-y area. Yeah, there we go. There's the clothing ones. And that's going to be it for the builds. Stay tuned though, because I'm going to be touring Gavotte for the first time as an edited video on the channel, and my face cam's in it. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this much. I tried to get it down more, but please stay tuned right after this for the Dream Address tour. Alright, so the original Gavotte Dream Address tour that I did was on stream, and I really did not want to edit that, because it was just annoying. So I'm doing a re-recording of Gavotte's Dream Address tour with Facecam. Hi, it's me. I actually did a face reveal earlier on a stream, which you probably missed, but this is kind of the official face reveal, I suppose. But anyway, I do in fact look like my character. So let's get on to the tour of Gavotte, shall we? Welcome to Gavotte. I will pull up, first I'll pull up the designs, because I make all my own designs as usual, and I can show you the maker code here. So here's the maker code down there, Victoria. So I have like all those cobblestones, I have the bricks, I've got the leaves, I've got all of these little path thingies here, the Raven University logo, etc. A couple different kinds of brick paths, so there's the maker code in the bottom there. And then I even made a couple of merch items for the university build, which is a huge build on this island, so let's get moving, shall we? Also, when you first arrive, I have some clothing here. The red is for masculine, the purple is for more feminine clothes. You can see the flag here. Old Gavotte. It's so cute. I love the flag. So we have my residents here. We've got Victoria. We've got her brother Alexander. These are characters that I've had for a million years. And then, of course, this is a mainly purple island. So we've got Quinn, Bob, Rod, Static, Ruby, Stella, Cleo, Cole, Sydney, and Kid. Love this lineup of villagers. Ruby and Cole are like brother and sister too, in my brain when making this island. So here's the airport. Here's the entrance. So we have two paths to take. Over here on the left, we have Raven University, which is a just gigantic build, okay? That's just what I do. I do gigantic builds. I love it when a build takes up, like, 99% of a map. But yeah, here's the university. Also set in autumn, because I wanted it to be autumnal. And it's like a European kind of city that's mainly purple. Purple and red, and black and white. So there's the entrance to the university. Oop, that's spoilers. Not really, but we have like the little entrance area here. Up here, we have the library of the university, and then we also have the like a little math classroom here. I made like several classrooms, which I think turned out really nice. Go over this way, and then we have like the bathrooms, two separate bathroom areas. And then we have like a little music area for the school. And then down over here is the biology classroom with a little bug in it. Very nice, but this is my favorite classroom for sure. I love biology. It's like my favorite science study. And then we're gonna go down this way, because that's basically the university. I'm gonna show you the map again, because I just wanted to point out how huge that whole little section, basically this whole corner, I can't even point it out, but that where I am on that little dot there, that whole like 2-level cliff area is entirely the university, so it's like a quarter of the map. Then we're gonna go up this way. My computer fell asleep. How dare it? It wasn't. I was using it. I don't know why it fell asleep. That was very, very rude. My computer. Anyway. So yeah, all of this is the university, and then this goes up to the little shops area. We have a little apparel store here, which I think turned out really nice. Nice little apparel area here. So this is like the little shop section. And then right here we have the little bookstore, which is also really cute. You can sit on this one right here and read the little book for pictures. And then we're gonna head up over here. We have a little cafe, little Witch's Brew cafe. I tried to make it like a little bit, not entirely just European, but I mean, it still fits. But like, vaguely Halloweenish. Not entirely, but like vaguely Halloweenish. But there's a little Witch's Brew cafe, which I turned out really nice too. And then we have like the little seating area here as well, and there's a couple gifts for you to pick up in the Dream Tour. And then over here is like a little lookout area. You can see like stuff on the beach there. Let's see if we can go up a little bit higher here. Oh yeah. And then, like, the time of day I set, I think it looks really beautiful, too. Got the nice sunset in the background. And then there's little ladders to go onto the beaches as well, which we will get to later. Okay, so we got the university area, and then this road back over here just takes you back around to the entrance of the university. And then over here we have the little front, like, park area here. I think this is the first build I made, which I really like how that turned out too. The nuptial bells, I haven't used them a lot on prior islands, but I love them now. Like, they look really nice. So the little park area there. And here's Bob. Hello, Bob. I love Bob. He is an iconic classic of a villager. And then we have like the villager neighborhood area over here, which I wanted to make like a multi-leveled canal-style neighborhood, which I think looks really nice too. Also, the red Zen bridges look really good on this island. I don't use them very often, because I'm not a big fan of red, but I like using things that I don't usually use. And look, there's Victoria, the resident rep of the island. Let's talk to her. She's a cutie. She's a vampire. La vie en rose, oui oui. Beautiful. Then we've got some houses here. I'm not really going to go into the houses because I have all of the builds in this video, but I will. Obviously, you can check them out in the dream address. And then Sydney's over here on the beach. Let's go back up here. And then this is just more of the neighborhood. Again, huge. Like, I have literally all of my villagers in 2 rows of 5. Yeah, looks beautiful. This time of day was such a good choice for the stream address. I'm so glad that I made it this time of day. Because then you get, like, more of the glowy stuff later. And then, yeah, more houses. There's Static and Cleo. I love Cleo. She is so slept on. She is a great villager. And then there is Mr. Alexander. I didn't give him any catchphrase, but he's Victoria's little sister. Or little brother, I'm sorry. Oh my god. Then behind here we have the statue garden, which I am obsessed with. I love making statue gardens. Ever since I made one on my island of 404, I have been obsessed with statue gardens. So, here's the little statue garden. I really like how this turned out, too. I, of course, adore all of the statues in this game. And I used a fake David, which is fine. Like, I don't really care if they're fake or not, to be honest. But lots of statues. Lots of art. We love art on this channel. And then up over this way, if we keep going this way, there's like a little section in the back here, but first, let's check out more of this little area, which I totally forgot to go in when we were here, but here is the bakery. I love making bakeries. I think this is the first, like, outdoor fake building that I've made for a bakery, because usually I make them as a player character's house. So I thought this was a little fun build. But yeah, little bakery. There's like little seating as well. And that's just right behind the clothing store and the bookstore. And then here are the 2 player houses. We'll go in those in a second. But then next door is the other shops, Nook's Cranny and the Able Sisters are right there. Let's go into, I believe this is Victoria's house. Yes, this is Victoria's house, which, the purple is so nice. The Moroccan set is so goated, really good variations, but she has like a little mini living room area up front, then a nice little kitchen area, and of course I always include a sea bass pie in my houses, just as revenge for the many years of catching so many sea bass as an Animal Crossing veteran. And then we have the little closet. I wanted her to have a walk-in closet because she's like a fashionista, so... Also, the sinking painting is kind of a little homage to my prior island of Requiem, where my character was Ophelia, and that's Ophelia from Hamlet, the Shakespeare play. But, like, little sewing area, too. So you can get, like, a little bit of a better view. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, really cute little walk-in closet. Definitely would make another one again, I like that idea. And then it is, like, I try to make my stuff walkable, but you have to scooch. Unfortunately. It's not a big deal, I just prefer to not have that. And then we have the bathroom. I love using those hanging curtains for, like, just dividing the room up. I think this is the first time that I've used some of these items, too. Like, the little paradise planting pot is really cute, and the little makeup bag as well. This is why I like making characters that aren't me, because obviously I don't give a shit about makeup. I don't care about that in real life, but I like the items, they're cute, you know? I want to tell, like, stories with my stuff. Now this one I had a lot of fun making. It's kind of like a little lounge area. I didn't really have a lot that I wanted to do with Victoria's house, like, initially. I don't really think about the houses very much, but this little lounge area is really nice. So, like, the disco ball, you just hang out over here. It's like a little area for drinks. I like making, like, unconventional rooms, too, because generally speaking, like, I usually just make the basic, like, house room kind of things, but I didn't have a ton of ideas, so I thought of something different. And I love using the partition walls, too. But yeah, there's a little lounge. Of course, upstairs traditionally is a bedroom, but we have a little work area that's kind of an homage to my own work area a little bit. Because I have, like, my laptop next to me, and then 2 monitors, and then my switches. We have, like, a little TV area right here. You can sit here and watch some boob tube, even though that doesn't make any sense anymore because they're no longer tube TVs, but, you know, it's still a fun phrase regardless. And then a little bed area. And then I also included Jack's portrait, because it's fun. And we have the little movie theater, which this was a lot of fun to make too. So we got 2 rows of seating, and like the projector there. And then here's the little concessions area. You can buy some snacks. And then up there, I have a couple of those LED signs that have both the Raven University logo and the Gavotte flag, which I thought was really cute. Let's quickly do Alexander's house. And I wanted to make Alexander's house the accent color, just so it's not like all purple, but yeah, I made his house more red. So he's got this nice little living room area. It's got a nice little piano. Yeah, I really liked working, like, after making this island, and essentially working with primarily purple, it was really nice to have a break from my eyes from purple to make this house, so I wanted his house to be distinct, so he has the accent color of red. Here's his little spare room, which is kind of like a guest room, I guess. But little guest room. Las Mañanitas. I love that painting. There's this meme where people, like, I think they're from, like, Spain, but, like, they kind of voice over the painting, like, Yo soy guapa? Which means, am I pretty? My dad sends it to me. It kills me every time. Oh my god, it's so funny. I need to find that again, but it makes me laugh. It's hilarious. So this is like a little gaming room area. Put this little switch light there, which is funny because Gavotte is actually currently on a switch light that is exactly that color. But here is Alexander's little gaming area. Very nice. Moving on. Little kitchen. We've got the sloppy sink, my favorite. I love the sloppy set. It's literally my favorite set in the entire game. And then we have like a little pantry area. Got the black windows, nice red as well. Little coffee beans. I like making little kitchens. I think they look really nice. And then the basement, I decided to do like a little arcade area in his basement since Victoria's house was the movie theater. So I wanted to have like a little basement arcade. There's a little area for snacks, like a little snack bar area. And then I also forgot to put a bathroom, so I put a little bathroom area in here as well. So yeah, I like the candles. Excuse me. I like the candles a lot. I like making like a dark basement. It was a lot of fun to make this one. And then we have the upstairs here. Got his bed. Just like a little bedroom area. Also, I think it's really cool to use those like shelf things, those clothing shelves, as like bedside tables. I think they look really nice like that. They're kind of high, but I think they look nice. Then a little closet area because Alexander's a little fashionista. Then like a little crafting area, a little seating area. A little switch over here. There's also a TV up here to watch in bed. We already saw... I'm pretty sure we already saw the statue garden. So like a little walk over here. Very lovely. I really like the orange pansies on this island. I'm not usually a big fan of them, but I think they look really nice on this island specifically. Let's go along this way. Hi, Rod. How's it going, buddy? And if we go around this way, in the back here, so we have the campsite here. Oh yeah, we gotta do the beaches. But back here we have kind of like a little foresty walk area. Lots of mush items. I really love the colors of fall in this game. It's so pretty. Especially during a sunset. And then we can go all the way around here. You can even keep going past this way. And
head over to the statue garden. You can sneak around this way to the statue garden, which you've already seen. Now let's go hit the beaches, because that's the last part. Let's do it this way, actually. Also, I love the views from the bridges. It's just so lovely. Also, I'll get my character out of the way. But yeah, I really love the canal-style neighborhood. It looks so nice, especially with the red Zen bridges. Let's see, let's head down this way. Because we can go over in the top corner of the beach area. And then we have to go down a little ladder here. So let's go up this way first. So we've got the giant elephant. Oh yeah, I have to go down over that way. But yeah, you can go down on that little part of beach with that ladder there. You want to go up this way. And then right over here, there's a little ladder so you can get down to this part of the beach. I love using gazebos on the beach and those party arch lights as well. And pergolas. Then we have like a little stage up here for a little show. A little rock show area. I love these stage flames a lot. Super pretty. There's that area. Let's show a little bit of this. See if we can get it a little bit higher. Yeah. And the sunset looks really nice too. And then this way, head back down the beach. And then let's go to the other parts of the beaches. Another little beach walk area over here, lots of the planks. Cute little area here. This little area is really nice too. I love the festival items a lot. They work for a lot of themes. And the purple ones look really nice. Little skateboard there. And then I have a little boardwalk style carnival area over here, which I really like as well. Little arcade area, the duck shoot area. There's also a little balloon there for you to pick up. And here we are back over at the university. And then let's do the beach over here. Also, hello, Alexander. Got a little area over here where you can lay on the beach. And then we need to get to the other side of the beach over here. Hi, Quinn. I have my rock garden here. And then we have like a couple entrances to the beach. This is another just like seating area over here. Lots of, I love the shell partitions in purple. They look really nice. And of course the festival stages are beautiful as well. And then I have the shell bed backwards there. It looks really nice. And this is a pre-3.0 island, so there is no hotel. I finished this just before 3.0 came out. And there's a Bobbo over there. I think this is my last 2.0 island. And then this nice little walk up here. We have a nice little setup here on the beach rock, including my little leaf patterns there. Yeah, the sunset is gorgeous. Look how pretty that is. Very beautiful. But yeah, this island was really, really fun to make. I really enjoyed making it. It was a really fun time. I don't think there's anything else I really need to show you. Because we did the villager neighborhood, we did all of those. Let's just do a quick little walk around before I end this. Yeah, there's all those presents out for you to pick up. I guess I'll do one last look at the map. So there's the map, there's the dream address. Here's all my villagers. So there's the dream address there if you want to visit. If you do visit and you post on Instagram or YouTube, please tag me. Obviously, I'm King Note Gaming here, but on Instagram, I'm Note Crossing. So if you want to tag me, that'd be great. I'd love to see your photos of Gavotte. And then we'll do one more check here of the custom designs so you can see the ones that I have. I make all of my own designs, so I always release them with the dream address of the island. So there's my maker ID down there for this island. There's all my custom designs. Lots of planks, boards, cafe, Raven University, road tiles. And then I have a couple of merch items. And you can wear those on the Dream Address tour if you want to, just to be a Raven University student. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this giant mega movie of making the island of Gavotte. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye!